4 million books. Back in the dark ages, like a year or two ago, the statistic I heard was that 1 million new books were being published every year in the United States. Well, a Publishers Weekly article came out recently saying that last year, 2025, it was 4 million new books. Yikes. I mean, if you're a reader, that's exciting. If you're a writer, it's a little bit daunting because now you are competing with all of these books. Well, I actually read the article beyond the headline, and it's not quite as scary as it sounds. It turns out that's actually 4 million new ISBN numbers. Now, when I produce a book or when anybody produces a book, you need a new ISBN number for your ebook, for your paperback, for your hardback, for your audiobook. So you could potentially have 4 ISBN numbers for one title. Now, a lot of people don't produce audiobooks or hardbacks or even paperbacks anymore. So it's not, 4 million does not become 1 million. And also, a lot of people I know, a lot of really well-established indie authors don't use ISBN numbers anymore. So there are books that are being published without ISBN numbers. But all right, so let's say it's probably between, let's say 2 and 3 million titles were published in 2025. What does that mean for writers? Well, honestly, I don't know. This is what I think it means. I think if you are trying to write like everybody else, it is going to be very hard to break out and get that audience. And I also keep thinking about what's happening with television. I keep hearing that there are no more water cooler shows anymore, that the audiences have become so subdivided, all these little micro audiences, all these little niche audiences. People aren't all watching the same thing. And that's not entirely true. There are still some big shows that the mass market, let's say, will watch. And there are still books, the thrillers, the big suspense novels that come out in the summer that will sell tons and tons and tons of books. But if you're not writing those, if you are, let's say, a mid-list author, I think following the crowd is not the best strategy. That whole term writing to market, that gets a little confused. Some people think writing to market just means vampire novels are popular, so I'm going to write a vampire novel. I think writing to market is more about writing to expectations. So if you do decide to write, for example, a cozy mystery, which is a genre that I write in, that you conform to the audience expectations of, for example, not having a lot of gore or sex or violence in it. But aside from not shocking the audience out of the genre, I do think that the success will be had in the niche. And I think that means let's maybe embrace the niche. If you don't like writing niche, then certainly don't do it. I'm not advocating for that. I think if you don't enjoy what you're doing, you should not be writing it. It won't, your lack of enjoyment will come through. It won't be a good book. But you think about J.K. Rowling. When she wrote her Harry Potter series, she was rejected by, I don't know, 60, 70 publishers. I've heard different numbers. And that's because at that time, a young child wizard going to wizarding school was this new and crazy idea. And she was writing it in a different way. She was writing these big, fat books for kids. Who the heck wants to read that? Well, it turns out a lot of kids and a lot of adults wanted to read those books. So she was a breakout novelist by doing something different, not by following the trends. I think the people who do break out like that will be excellent writers who are coming up with new and original ideas and implementing them well. And I think that those who don't break out can still make good money at the margins because it is a big reader's market. 4 million books. There's something kind of awe-inspiring in that and terrifying at the same time.